Let's break a myth today. A myth or a fear that most computer science students have despite enrolling for a degree in information technology. During my interaction with several computer science students here in the US and back in India, I've heard the students saying that, okay, I've joined the computer science degree, but I'm not sure that whether I can be a successful software developer. Don't think of software development as a humongous task. It's not a rocket science that need too much of analytical thinking or a strategic level of thinking. In today's video, let's see about the low-code, no-code application and GitHub, one of the popular applications that's used for low-code, no-code environment, and what makes it so popular. The low-code, no-code applications has been around for over 2 decades now. It's something like IBM Lotus Notes or Microsoft database, that's the Access database, and Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and even with SAP's Fiori apps. Those are some of the examples of low-code, no-code application. The benefit of using this low-code, no-code application is it would allow even a non-technical user to focus on the problem rather than thinking about the complex coding process as well as any other technical programming language that you might want to learn. And this low-code, no-code application, it helps with the small business and the startup environment because you don't have to maintain a large IT team to create an application. GitHub is one of the popular tools that the low-code, no-code developers are currently using. So what is GitHub and what makes it so popular? Let's see that. Before we move on to GitHub, what is Git? Let's see what is Git. The concept of Git is an open source distributed version control system that is designed to track changes of your source code in a software development environment. Git is founded by the famous Linus Torvalds back in 2005. Linus Torvalds is the one who developed the initial kernel of Linux, the Linux operating system. So he, along with other open source developers, came up with this concept of Git, which helps developers across the world to collaborate and review the changes that they made. To collaborate in a software development environment and review the changes. And GitHub is based on this concept. GitHub is an application. This is founded by another group of individuals, but now it's acquired by Microsoft. GitHub is in a Microsoft product now. GitHub is a web-based platform that is developed based on this concept. In GitHub, it allows you to create these applications using the components like the drag and drop components, and you can also manage these applications with developers around developers in a distributed environment, and you can also review, track changes, and as well as merge the changes in a collaborative working environment. In fact, GitHub grew popular by its easy onboarding process and its efficient version controlling, its ability to separate the components by the branching, and its simple review and merging process using the pull request. To get started in GitHub, you first need to create a login account as you would similarly do in any of the web-based application. And when you create your account, it provides you a repository, and this is the repository where you will be saving all your work, storing all your work. You'll be building your components in this repository. You will be transferring the files even from your computer to this repository. It could be both in the drag and drop manner, or even GitHub gives you the flexibility of doing via command line interface. Some of us like the old, we prefer the old school method of the command line interface if you would prefer so. And of course, there is always a code behind these components that you add to the GitHub. And if you want to edit the code, GitHub also offers you some of the code editors like CodeMirror, Ace, or Monaco. And it also offers you integration with multiple other platforms. For example, say Travis CI is something that you can use for your testing integration, and Jira for your bug or issue management, Jenkins for server management, Circle CI for task automation, and you can also use CodeMirror, that's for your code analysis. And in fact, you can also use Microsoft Teams and Slack for communication purposes for your coding environment. That is the distributed coding environment. The key feature of GitHub is the version control. As a developer, you can track changes to your version. You can also revert back to a previous version if you feel that if the changes that you made has to be undone. The other important feature of GitHub is branching. So branching is nothing but creating a separate copy of your main project into a separate work area. So this way you can work in your work area without affecting the main branch, without affecting the main project. And if you want to make changes to develop a new feature or test a new component, you can do so in this using this branching. So once you're done with making a local copy and creating a separate branch, you can also merge this branch of source code back into the main branch using the pull request. So when you initiate that pull request, that is going to let others in your distributed working environment know that there is a piece of code that is going to be there is a piece of change code that is going to be merged into the original source code. During this process, the other developers can review, or they can suggest additional changes, or if there are any vulnerabilities, you can catch hold of it before you kind of merge back into the main source code using the pull request. So these are some of the GitHub features that really makes anyone with low code or a no programming knowledge to be expert in creating a custom application for any environment, not just a startup or a small or a medium enterprises. Even large enterprises uses GitHub. I've worked in some of the Fortune 100 companies where I personally have used GitHub. GitHub also provides you access to the vast library of templates where you can use some of the pre-built components that are scalable as well as that can be reused for any of your existing purposes. And these are some of the ready-made features that makes GitHub so popular. To summarize, in today's video, we saw what is the low-code, no-code application, the concept of Git, and what made GitHub a popular low-code, no-code application today. In fact, let me help you with GitHub tutorial. You can check in the comments below for a GitHub tutorial. I hope this video helps you to bust the myth of software engineering being a monstrous process. Let me know in your comments below if you have used any of the low-code, no-code application, or how did a low-code, no-code application like GitHub help you become a software engineer. I'm Kirti Jairaj. Thank you for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts about Campus Compass. Thank you.